why quitters actually win. This is an unpopular opinion. It might be an unpopular video filled with hate comments below, but I want to share a different perspective with you on quitting and why it can actually help you be even more successful in roofing sales. See, I got really tired of all of the things that I was reading about on morning routines and success habits and what millionaires do, where they read and they wake up really early and then they work out and then they journal and then they ice bath and then they have a creative time and planning sessions and then they have a whole work day, but then they're also supposed to be active on social media and building your personal brand. And I looked at all these things, and what I found is I felt like I was like, just adding more until my gut was going to burst, because I just couldn't do all of the things that people kept telling me to add. And I started to look at the way that I operate from a reductionist standpoint, by way of eliminating things or quitting things. And that's what I mean by quitters win. Now, there's other things that I quit as well that, again, I guess from the same reductionist philosophy were helpful, but I'm going to outline all of those here in this video. And my hope is to help you simplify your life, free up your mental bandwidth, free up your time, and allow you to bring your whole self to your work so you can smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. So let's get to it. But before we do, welcome back. Adam Bensman here, founder of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance. And everything that you'll see here or listen to is designed to help roofing teams like yours outsell, outgrow, and outcompete the rest so we can stomp the scum out. Now let's get started. Roofing sales is personal development in disguise, and the reward for growth is life-changing. I hope my content helps you create a richer life and bank account. Hey, before we jump into the quitter thing, I just want to go a little further into what I mean by quitting, because there's two types of quitters. There's lazy quitters, and these are the folks that, oh, it was too hard, it was too much work, so they quit. They quit for one purpose, which is to alleviate the immediate pain that they're feeling. This is a lazy quitter. I'll give you an example. If you're in the gym and you're doing your squats and you're on rep 8 of 10 and you're like, oh, I'm tired, that was good enough. That's a lazy quitter, right? That is doing whatever it takes to be done now. Or if you're out knocking doors and you're like, today's not going well, it was good enough. So that's quitting because it's uncomfortable and you just want immediate escape. Okay. The other thing that lazy quitters do is they have an excuse. They don't take responsibility. It's always someone else's fault. This video, I have no room in my life for lazy quitters. I don't even bother spending my time or investing my time with them. As soon as I observe who they are, I want nothing to do with them. I disassociate. But what I'm talking about today in this video is what I call intentional quitters. And this is this idea of reducing the things in our life. So starting at the top, I just want to share a story. It was my second job. My first job, by the way, I started at age 11. I was working in a bike shop. I was working 9-hour days on the weekend. It was 8 hours open to close. And I was there early to open and late to close, biking a couple miles to get there. And then my second job, I thought I wanted to get in the restaurant business. And I found a retirement community that was hiring in the restaurant. I was there literally on one day, and that day I quit. Why? Because I was an intentional quitter. And I knew at that point that industry out of the gate is like, this is not for me. I am not cut out for this, and this doesn't fuel me. And I don't feel challenged in the way that I can actually make a difference or grow. So again, by the way, there's a lot of successful people from the restaurant world in roofing, but aside, that was an intentional quit, which led me to the next thing I did, which, by the way, 1 year later, fast forward, maybe 6 months, I forget the full timeline, I started my very first business. It was a mobile car detailing business. I was 16 years old. So the reason that I share this progression is, one, that was very intentionally cutting something out because I knew it didn't work. I also intentionally quit things that I know aren't working or serving me in my life. So what I want to share with you today is a little bit more of that advice. And I was asked at a conference, I was walking down the hallways of this conference. This was a few years ago at RoofCon. And someone said, hey, Adam, what should a new person do to be successful? And what I started focusing on was actually rattling off all the things that one should be removing. So what I want to share with you right now are the things that I've cut out of my life that have helped me win bigger by quitting the things that aren't important and don't fuel me. Let's start at the top. Number one was quitting alcohol. I quit alcohol because I realized I had a problem with it. Alcohol didn't serve me. I would celebrate my wins and I would drown my losses in alcohol. I woke up most every day not sleeping well with a hangover and extremely anxious. Alcohol began to impact my cognitive function, the way I brought myself to work, my energy, my mood. It wasn't good for me at all. And by cutting that out, I started to sleep better. My relationships got better. I started to earn more money. But most importantly, I felt better and I was healthier. that amount of not only, again, the mental clarity, alcohol generally isn't good for our health. I'm not here to shame anybody. I love me some ice cream, and let's be real, ice cream's not real good for your health. But I cut that out, and not only did it free up a tremendous amount of money, by the way, but a tremendous amount of time. I calculated how much time I sat at a bar, wanting to go sit out for happy hour, go to a new place and sit. I'm like, why am I sitting in some bar somewhere when I could be out exploring the culture, the people, the things, and doing stuff? You know, we're starting to drink in the afternoon and carry it through evening. And like, that was it. Like, we drink in one place, what's the need to just drink in another? I just drink it. So anyway, alcohol was one of those. The next one I cut out, and this is the first time I've talked about this publicly, but I was sober. I cut out alcohol. And after a period of time, I was 100% sober. And then I tried the California sober thing. For those who are familiar, if you're not, Google it, you'll know what it is. I just have to be careful of what I say for the tubes. But anyway, I tried that. I tried weed. And I was like, hey, you know what? First I was like, I can do this recreationally a little bit. And it was fun. And then I started to justify, just like, by the way, an alcoholic or an addict does, justify, hey, this really helps with my anxiety, helps with my focus. You know, it really calms me down. So then I started to do it medicinally. And then I realized that I was using marijuana in the same way that I was using alcohol. And that was as an escapism device. And I began to use it medicinally, but then at night I would want to use it recreationally. And I kind of just hit this point where I was like, what am I doing? Like, I am undoing recovery work. Anyway, I cut that out. I'm sober. I'm very, very sober. The third thing I cut out was social media time, specifically the scrolling. So on my computer, I have the Facebook news feed eradicator in, which when I open Facebook, there's no news feed. So I can go in there, I can do the things I need to do for work and look at the things I need to look at that fuel me without getting sucked into the scrolling piece. I don't use Instagram for anything other than work. And I have even like Reddit is curated for the things that are actual interest groups or education for me. So I cut that out of my life. Fourth on the list is toxic relationships. When I went sober, well, first when I stopped drinking, I lost a bunch of friends. Naturally happens when you get sober. Then I introduced different lifestyle and I was friends with certain people. And then as soon as I stopped doing that stuff, I was like, wow, just my perspective on certain friendships changed and those people got cut out. And then there's also toxic relationships and people that were lazy quitters that didn't fuel me. And I just said, hey, I don't want those people in my life. Then I just started throughout my time to start looking and auditing the things that I would spend time on, doing the things that people told me I should be doing. And I just asked myself this simple question. Does it fuel my life? Does it make me happy? And does it help make me money? And if it didn't fuel my life, that's my health, my relationships, my mental health. If I didn't have fun with it, and if it didn't make me money, I just would get rid of it. And I started to cut out more, the need to like do all the things in the morning. Even I was meditating every morning. I stopped doing that. Why? Because I found like, hey, I get that meditation in when I'm running or exercising. So this idea that quitters win, I realized like there's only so much time in a day. And if I can be very, very intentional about where I place that time, and now it goes into mainly three places. It goes into my health and wellness. It goes into my relationships, starting with my wife, friends included, family included. And then it goes into my work. And my work, obviously, if you look at these, number-wise, of course, work's the most time, the biggest number. And the more I've freed up, the more time, money, and energy I've been able to pour into my health and wellness, both mental and physical, my relationships and my time with my wife. We have more quality time now than ever before. I have more time with my friends and the meaningful relationships in my life, with my family than ever before. And I also have the most focused time in my business. And as a result, I've experienced the most growth, the most success, but I define success as the love that I feel, the meaning that I feel, and the impact that I feel. To me, that's success. So I hope this video helps you. Now, what I'd love to hear is in the comments below, what's one thing you want to quit today that's going to free up your time to invest in the most meaningful aspects of your life so you can make even more money, feel even more fulfilled, and be healthier? Well, there you have it. This, my friend, is why quitters win.